Hey y'all, how are you doing? I am great. Thank you so much for asking. It's me, Kim, back for another video. I love YouTube so much because it gives me an opportunity to talk about all of the random stuff that I just wouldn't have had an outlet or platform to discuss as fully as I can here. And I completely plan to go super in depth today on a series that I randomly decided to watch last weekend called Jailbirds on Netflix. Jailbirds is a 6-episode documentary series, docu-series, reality TV show set in a Sacramento jail. But before we get into what I have to say, I am a prison abolitionist. That means that I do not believe that there should be a place for jail or prison in our modern society. I think that all of the resources and the time and the effort that we put toward capturing people and chaining them up and putting them in cages would be much better spent on things that actually help people and decrease crime rates, like addiction treatment, mental health care, a broadened social safety net. I really think that we need to be focusing our energy into developing compassionate policies for people whose lives are pretty much born to be shitty. I mean, you know, that's as blunt as I can put it. Also, I think that we should make an institution that does what jails and prisons say that they are supposed to do, which is like rehabilitate people and aid in reform. The current prison system does not do that, so I believe that we need to tear it down. Now, I watch this show with an abolitionist lens, but I am also addicted to reality TV show and have been since, I don't know, the first season of The Real World I watched was the one with Ruthie. That would be like Hawaii. What year is that? 98, 99? A long time, girl. I've been into reality TV. I live for human drama. I love it so much. So I did watch this show with both of my lenses on, my reality TV loving lens and my abolitionist lens. If you'd like to learn more about why I do not believe prison should exist, head on over to Patreon. I spent a long time going through all of the arguments for why prison shouldn't exist and what we need to replace it with. Go over there. Okay. And no, I am not going to debate you about prisons in the comments, but thank you so much. I watched all 6 episodes of this series 2 times because I have a problem, and also anytime I review something, I have to watch it twice. But I gotta say, I came away from this series with 2 thoughts. One is that our jail system / prison system is completely ridiculous and unjust. And 2, I'm single for a reason. I am single for a reason. I just don't want a relationship enough. I certainly do not want it as much as the people in this jail. And I was so fascinated by the romantic hijinks that really make up the foundational drama of this show. I knew I had to come on here and discuss it because it was unfathomable to me. And if you're like, how do they make a show about prison but make it about love and romance and flirtation? Girl, I don't know, but they did it. This particular jail is 90% men, 10% women. The women are kept on their own floor. There is no interaction between the men, and well, there's very little interaction. They only really interact like accidentally when the workers might pass by a group of people of the opposite gender. There's still hella romantic drama despite the fact that these people really do not ever see each other face to face. Now, how does that happen? I'm glad you asked. They converse via toilet talking.
I miss you. So to talk on the toilet bowl, you have to bail out. You take all the water out, dump it in the sink. She bailed the toilet out and knocked, and somebody answered, and I was like, oh my God, what is happening here?
This is amazing. The toilets are all in the same place, apparently. I don't know, I'm guessing. Up and down the tower. The plumbing is all connected. So what they have to do is take all of the water out of their toilet bowls, dump it into their sinks, and they get down, put their little faces near the toilet, or sometimes they use cardboard tubes or styrofoam cups or whatever to amplify their voices, and they talk to the people beneath them and above them. I honestly should have paid more attention in my physics classes because the science and the engineering behind that is astounding to me. Or maybe it's not that technical. Maybe I'm just basic, but I was so impressed. And what's so fascinating to me about this is it really doesn't matter what obstacles you put in the way of humans. We're gonna find a way to hook up. We're gonna find a way to be intimate. One inmate named Noonie is like for real caking on the bowl with her boo Squeeze, and they call him Squeeze because he shoots people, and they like are for real like talking dirty.
I love him so much. We met on the ball. I respect him, and Squeeze has my back too. Look, I'll twerk it for you, right? Yeah. You gotta do something for me too, though.
I mean, it just reminded me of like being on my flip phone in 9th grade. Yes, I am an elder. I had a flip phone. Once they introduced toilet talking, I was sold. Absolutely, I'm in. And they're so sincere about it. Noonie is just earnestly talking about her future with this man. And as a viewer, I'm like, girl, there ain't no future. He not getting out. So the other thing about toilet talking is they don't just speak to each other through the toilet bowls. They send things.
Put like 5 spoons at the end of the line.
She's gonna get her line ready. I'm getting my line ready.
All right, drop.
She's gonna flush her toilet.
Flush.
I'm gonna flush my toilet.
They send gifts. They send pictures. They send notes. And the way that they do it, again, the engineering is marvelous. Y'all should be in college. Why are y'all in jail? Y'all need to be engineers. But another thing that really caught my attention is that, like, of course, the toxic masculinity part does not go away. There is a scene in Jailbirds where a woman gets her cell flooded with human excrement, urine, food, whatever, water, because she doesn't want to talk on the toilet anymore. So these men, because they were rejected, decide to harass her through the toilet bowl by flooding her cell. It's just like, ugh, masculinity gonna masculine. Y'all really mad because somebody don't want to stick their head in a toilet and talk to you anymore? Look at your life. But we do have to get to the drama. So one of the Casanovas of this show, his name is Daniel, but everybody calls him Dalla. That's his street name. Everybody has a street name here. So Dalla is 21 years old, and he's been in prison since he was 19. And at the time of filming, it said that he had no bail, and he was facing life in prison for attempted murder. Life in prison, and you didn't even kill anybody? Okay, prison system, but whatever, right? So Daniel is objectively cute. You know, I'm 30, so he's too young. You know, I feel bad even saying that, but he would be cute outside of prison. Daniel gets bitches. Daniel, I'm gonna call him Daniel. You know, like he's like my nephew. Daniel and Katrina are in a full-blown relationship.
Coffee or some chips or something, man. You know, we hungry up here.
I talked to a guy in here. He's on the 8th floor. I met him through the toilet. I really like him a lot.
Okay. Grown woman, huh?
They love each other. They say they love each other. They send each other notes. They send each other pictures. They send each other gifts, right? These are things that even like a lot of women on the outside are not getting. But anyways, they are committed to it. And remember that they are conducting this relationship without having ever seen each other in real life, sending all of this stuff through the plumbing. Daniel is also in a full-blown relationship with Ebony. Ebony is also 21. They also send each other letters. They have heartfelt conversations about their lives. They send each other pictures and gifts.
What I'm feeling for Dalla is definitely genuine, you know? My husband don't even know about this shit, but I found somebody I really care about. This is who I want to be with, you know?
She is really deep in it, so deep in it that she references leaving this man for her husband? Did you say your husband? What's going on here? What's happening? But whenever I was watching this show and I felt myself getting really riled up because like they were so serious about it, and it's like, y'all are both in prison. I had to remind myself that these are actual kids. These are 21-year-olds. Like, they're supposed to be doing this kind of silly stuff. Ebony and Katrina find out about each other, and we get a real jailhouse John Tucker must die situation. So they decide to confront Daniel over the toilet bowl, and it is so dramatic.
Yeah, you did send me kites talking about you love me and a whole bunch of other shit, so I don't know like where this weird messy shit is. You told me that you wasn't with Ebony and a whole bunch of other stuff, so you just hella weird and hella messy. I came in here to tell you that I'm not fucking with you, so you can go on and do whatever the fuck that you want to do, because you hella weird, you hella messy, and you a motherfucking child, and I fuck with grown-ass men who's actually gonna do something for me and my children. You's a bitch, so have a nice life.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Ebony is crying in the toilet, and Katrina is pissed off, and she's ripping up all of Daniel's letters, and she rips up all of his pictures, and they are done. Everybody is finished with Daniel, and Katrina cusses this man out. She gave him a good cussing out in the toilet bowl. After all that drama, they're not actually done. We actually, at the very end of this series, get a little scene with Dalla and Katrina. And Daniel/Dalla seems to be just as surprised that he's on the outside as I was, because he was facing serious charges, but thankfully he got released, and after they got out, they actually pursued a real relationship. He chose Katrina. It was just kind of strange to me that even after all that, Katrina was still trying to talk shit about Ebony, and it's like, girl, you need to stop. He about to cheat on you. So you don't even need to be out here looking foolish like this. I hope that she gets a good cable package and starts to watch Love After Lockup, because we all know how this story is gonna end. But good for them. They're released and gonna build a happy life. They're in their early 20s. Y'all, they're definitely not together today. I'd bet money on it. The first time I watched all that drama, I was just so judgmental and incredulous. But then the second time I was like, oh, I realized that this is the stuff that we did in college. When I was 20 years old, I was definitely trying to date a man who was trying to date 4 or 5 other people. Shout out to I'm gonna have to bleep that out. That's just normal stuff. And then it's just so cute to see them in their little separate spaces, telling their friends about their booze. It's like the scene in Greece, the tell me more, and everybody's crowding around them, and they're talking about their booze and how much they love. I'm like, oh, humans are humans in every context. We're gonna do the same stuff anywhere we are. These are real people engaging in totally normal behaviors in horrible and tragic circumstances. Who among us hasn't cried over a fake boo on a dirty floor? But there's another layer of the drama. So I told you that Squeeze and Noonie are for real caking on the toilet bowl, but Ebony and Noonie used to be friends, but they've fallen out because Noonie is now talking to Squeeze, and Squeeze, being the shooter that he is, apparently at one point on the outside tried to shoot at Ebony's husband/child. And by the way, Ebony has a whole husband crying over Dalla, but we're not gonna go back there. So they fall out, and it's like, oh my God, it always pains me to see women falling out over a man who can't do anything for you. Y'all fighting over a man that, first of all, y'all have not met. I mean, maybe Ebony has met him, but Noonie hasn't met. And they get into a for real altercation, apparently, and it's kind of unclear in the show, but Squeeze alludes to sending Noonie a shank to protect herself against Ebony, and it's like, why is it that serious? What? For what? Y'all can't just avoid each other? Why are y'all really getting into it like this over this, like, oh. But straight women again are gonna do what straight women do, which is fight over a man who not doing nothing. We do it in jail, we do it outside of jail, we do it in the corporate office, we do it in college, like, it's everywhere, girl. And really all I could do when Ebony and Noonie fell out like that for no reason was just, shake my head like the disappointing auntie that I've become. The second eligible bachelor is Aaron, aka A1. Now, we gotta talk about these face tattoos, y'all. Y'all be getting face tattoos like it's nothing. You don't have enough real estate on your body to get a tattoo somewhere other than your face? For what? I can't get with it. But Aaron is a player. Aaron and Taylor are in love. He is telling his friends about her and setting up this really convoluted system to get a message to her and writing her love notes and calling her Lady A1 and talking about how they're gonna be together on the outside. And at first glance, it does seem really sweet. I mean, it is, again, really sweet and nice, and it made me think of all of the things that we take for granted. Like, girl, I don't even return texts. So the fact that they are doing all of this just to get these really multi-page letters, you know, 4-page letters, it's something. It's really something. The stuff between Aaron and Taylor does seem really sweet until you find out that Aaron is an abuser. I do believe that he abused Megan/Monster, and he is facing additional charges. And by the way, California still has the 3 strikes thing. I did not know that if you get 3 strikes still, I thought that was like a 90s thing, you get put in prison for life, no matter what the offense was. Ridiculous. The behavior that Aaron was displaying toward Taylor, who is a teenager, by the way. Taylor is 19 years old. It does make sense when you recognize that he's an abuser, because, you know, abusers are really great at the sweet talking and sweeping you off your feet and the wooing and all of that. So it becomes instantly like zero romance. There's no romance in that for me at all. And guess what? Aaron has another girlfriend, and of course, that girlfriend is a white woman with box braids. Look.
I am here for my boyfriend. He's looking at a life sentence right now. He might be doing a lot of time, so I come up here 2 to 3 times a week.
Put that in a box over here. But his outside girlfriend's name is Carrie, and Carrie has known Aaron for 6 months. Look, y'all, I know life is hard and it's lonely and we want companionship, but you're really maintaining a full-on relationship with somebody in prison when you've known them for 6 months? And then we learn that Carrie housed Aaron while he was on the run from the police? Somebody you haven't even known for half a year? But even beyond that, Carrie, who looks to be about, I don't know, 10 years older than Aaron. I really don't know, because it's really hard to guess white people ages. But she is emailing Megan/Monster to try to convince her to drop the charges.
So talk about the emails. Why are you emailing her?
I don't want to talk about the emails.
Carrie, get some business. Download Tinder. That's not your place. What are you doing? And Carrie also emails A1's other boo, Taylor, and A1 tells Carrie that Taylor is his cousin. But there's more. Because then, toward the end of the series, A1 is talking to one of his little friends, and they're sitting down playing cards. And he pulls out a little phone book, and he's like, oh, I just got another number. It's another woman. It's another woman. How are you womanizing from inside the jail? How? It's absolutely ridiculous. And I was really concerned for sweet baby Taylor, because she was all in on the A1 train and defending this man and saying, oh, he would never do that about his domestic violence allegations. And it's like, girl, you don't know him. You ain't never met him. You don't know what he was doing. Like, what are you doing? But thankfully, by the end of the series, sweet baby Taylor, who is 19 years old, basically curves him and says she's gonna move on and focus on herself. Thank you, girl. Yes, that's what you should do. That's our hetero drama, which was a lot. Now, there's also a sweet, committed lesbian couple. That's Brianna and Bianca. You know, there is, I guess, a stereotype about lesbians getting committed and like moving really, really fast in their relationships. Honestly, I'm only aware of it because of Crystal on The Read. She talks about it a lot. You know, I guess lesbians just move quickly. I don't know. But this relationship moved very fast.
It's a crazy, beautiful kind of love.
Look at, can you see me?
I can look in your soul.
I want her to feel that it's something serious.
Y'all met in jail hung out a few times. According to Brianna, they didn't even have sex, which we don't believe you, girl. But anyways, and then Bianca proposed to Brianna, and now y'all gonna get married? And it's like, first of all, I have concerns because Brianna is talking about Bianca and there's affection, but then Brianna is talking about how like she don't want their relationship to be in public, and she don't want us like, you know, I've been a heterosexual woman for 30 years, and what I do know is that if somebody's trying to hide you, or like if they trying to, you know, coerce you to keep your relationship secret or private or whatever, it's a no-go, girl. Run the other way. But on the other hand, like I said, there seems to be genuine affection. And despite the fact that Brianna really is trying to give us all the signs that she is not really prepared for marriage, like she just doing it, and she's facing 30 years in prison, at least. She does make it down the aisle, and their little partnership was legit cute. It was genuinely sweet. So I am rooting for them. You know, a really interesting little tidbit was when Bianca was sitting in like, I don't know, a holding cell with other inmates. They weren't dressed in the jail clothes yet. And one of the women was like, girl,
tell you something. I personally have been experienced, you know, girls that get with girls that are in here, and then when they get on the streets, it's a whole nother ballgame.
Let's get into the last and final drama. It involves two sisters. Well, technically they're half sisters, but I'm black, we don't do that. So two sisters, Shana and Baby Girl. And I have to say, Baby Girl is the older sister, and her description of her early life is absolutely horrifying.
I was born, my dad was 15, my mom was 13. My mom didn't really raise me, my aunt didn't. My aunt was 11. She used to take me to school with her. My mom spent most of her time getting high. So I ended up getting into foster care.
The most fascinating thing for me about Shana and Baby Girl is that they are both locked up because of their attachments to crimes that their male partners did. Shana is in prison because her husband stole a car, and her husband, while he was on the phone with her from jail, directed her to go to a woman's house, and all of this is recorded, because your calls are recorded. So while she was on the phone with her husband, she went to a woman's house, the woman whose car was stolen, and tried to press that woman to threaten her and get her to drop the charges. So Shana is now in jail for witness tampering. How stupid. And Baby Girl is in jail because a man that she started a romantic relationship with, and we learned that toward the end, they went to see her wife at the time, and this man shot her wife in the face. Now Baby Girl does not tell us this outright. She doesn't tell us outright that he shot the wife. She uses passive language. But we can surmise that he shot her wife execution style in the face, and she is committed to not snitch on him, and she's telling other women in there like, I'm not gonna snitch, it's my word.
I can't do it. Everybody feels I should go against my co-defendant. I gave my co-defendant my word, and I live by my word, even if it means I'm going away for the rest of my life.
And the woman threading her eyebrow says, he is going to throw you under the bus. Like, you need to do what you need to do for yourself. He's about to testify against you and throw you under the bus, which seems like a likely scenario. But Baby Girl she just does not have a sense of self-preservation. So she's going on with this, I'm not going to incriminate him. Baby Girl and Shana have this great loving relationship. It's just really nice to see them have each other. A thing that gets reiterated over and over in this series is how important it is to have connections, to have relationships, to have partnerships, to have friendships. And it's just cute to see them together. But then at the very end of this series, Baby Girl has been sent back to administrative segregation, which is basically like solitary confinement. And she is pissed off at Shana. So pissed off, she's like, I don't talk to her. I don't fuck with her anymore. She's dead to me. And you're like, what? Like, that's your sister. Like, what? And then Baby Girl alludes to Shana doing something that is unforgivable. And I'm like, now I know it's not what I think it is. Okay. Then we go to Shana. And Shana explains that she got into a relationship with somebody on the toilet bowl.
You wouldn't believe who it is.
We know him?
No, but you know of him.
Is he connected to somebody we know? Is he connected to baby girl?
Her Cody.
And who was it? It was the man who shot baby girl's wife in the face. She, over the toilet bowl, pursued a relationship with baby girl's co-defendant. What a freaking plot twist. So that's all the drama there. And whoa, it was dramatic. I was so incredulous while watching this series because I'm always in awe of the lengths that people will go to find a man, to keep a man, to fight for that man or whatever. I just cannot relate. Cannot relate. Don't understand it. I'm in awe. But then I sat back and thought about, it is completely normal for people to want to have those intimate connections, to want to feel desired and to want to feel sexy and cute and like cake a little bit. Like that is just a part of the human condition. And we also live in a society that is structured to prioritize those kinds of intimate partnerships. There are a couple of things happening here, so you can't really be surprised that even in the jail system where people cannot hang out, you can't go on dates, you can't hold hands, you can't hook up, right? That even in that situation that people are going to find booze because people hook up in wars and stuff. So, I mean, this is not nothing too crazy. But then all of that drama is escalated. It's like the stakes are much higher because of the context. I mean, you know, the jail context is pretty much a powder keg. People are not supposed to live in cages. We're just not designed to live like that. And so everything gets heightened. What else are you gonna do? There's not anything else really to even do in that jail. They don't even have programs. I didn't even see any books. You know, there's no games. It's like all you have is talk on the toilet, fight, make alcohol out of fermented fruit and water, take your pills. There's just not, I mean, you know, hooking up is the oldest pastime. And I've let go of a lot of the judgment that I used to feel for people who are just so focused on finding a partner and getting booed up and all of that, because I do feel like I am privileged to live a life where I don't have to have a partner or have a boo to have an exciting, fun, meaningful life. We are really fortunate in 2019 as free people that we don't have to have children and find a man to make the time in our lives go by faster. And for me, because of my class position and my mobility and my access to therapy and to travel and to all sorts of stuff that, you know, I can make meaning of my life lots of different ways, I'm not shoehorned into these few ways. And that's not to say that if you are really focused on finding a man and having kids or whatever, that you don't have no hobbies. You might not. It's just great that in 2019, if you're a free person, there are 99 ways to pass the time and have fun in your life, and like chasing men and chasing relationships don't have to be one. When I was watching this show, I was like, maybe I'm the weird one. Like maybe it's me, because I really do not care about hooking up, dating, finding a man. It's just like, it really is, if there are 10 things on the list of things I want in my life, that's like a 9. Maybe I am the weird one if people are doing all of this, you know? I've embraced that. And one thing I just have to say before we wrap up this video is, over and over again, when we are going through the lives of these inmates, they tell us about their lives and it's all tragedy. It's tragedy, tragedy, tragedy. My mother was an addict. I was in and out of foster care. I'm addicted to pills or whatever. These people need help, not jail. Thank you and good night. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, go over to Patreon, watch me explain thoroughly and with many, many citations why I do not believe that our prison system should exist. Abolish prisons, hashtag abolish prisons. People have been arguing for the abolition of the prison system for decades. So that's how I got there. Thanks again to all of the patrons. I appreciate you deeply. Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. send me an email, send me a message on Twitter or Instagram, buy some merch, sign up for the email newsletter. I will see you next time. Bye, guys.